Hello, freedom lovers from all over the world. Welcome. My name is Erica and I'm from Zebra Inspiratie. And welcome to the Global Walkout Show that is live from the Netherlands. I'm so honored to have a special guest this evening in the show. And how can we do a global walkout show without Monica Smit? And she's here at the table. Hello, Monica.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here. I was just saying to you before that this time last year you were interviewing me on Zoom, and here I am in person. So it's amazing.
It's amazing because that's where you realize that dreams come true. For me, it's a dream, to see you in person. So I'm so honored.
For me, it's a dream to get out of my country, which I thought would never happen. So it's beautiful to be here.
We talk about that later in the show. First, we talk. Of course, we start with the global walkout. Mm-hmm. It's a great idea, Monica. And it's you said to me it was started just a month ago or something. Yeah. It's step 5 this evening, and how about the idea? Where did it come from?
Well, I guess it's an accumulation of ideas from lots of different people. When you're talking to people, you get little bits of information and then it creates something bigger. And sometimes it's hard to know exactly where everything started. But I know for sure that the Canadian truckies really inspired me. And when they were hitting the streets in the middle of winter, I thought to myself, imagine if the whole world convoyed at exactly the same time. It maybe would have changed everything. And that's where the idea of global in unison came from. Then I pitched an idea like that to Robert Kennedy Jr. and he really liked the idea. So I said, well, I've told him now, so I better do it. But the atmosphere changed a lot from January this year to now. Things have eased, masks and the mandates, so everything's changed. So I really had to find the right strategy to get people excited because a lot of people think it's over. Mm-hmm. So that's why this sort of approach of taking small steps every week, it's obviously resonating with people, and the idea is that together we're gonna build up to be a huge amount of people, and we can actually walk out on the globalists and say we're just done playing this game, and we're gonna wait for the right time for that. Yeah.
Well, you made an incredible nice video, and I think it's nice to see how you started the first video to promote the global walkout. And let's have a look.
On September the 4th at 8 p.m. London time, the global walkout begins. One step at a time, hand in hand, we will walk out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into. Many of us, myself included, have unconsciously subscribed to globalism by accepting the conveniences they offered us through technology, communication, and easy banking. If we want to strategically push back against globalism, we must lead by example and slowly unchain ourselves. We already have the power. There are already enough of us. We just need to act in unison. Join the global walkout, and together we will move forward to a new and better way of living. United, one step at a time, we will gradually strive to disconnect from the globalist agenda. If you join the global walkout family, you will be walking the walk alongside thousands and then millions of freedom lovers around the world. We will inspire each other to achieve our dream life of personal sovereignty, peace, happiness, and the ultimate freedom. Whatever the globalists try to do will become a non-issue because we are walking out on them. The first of many steps that we will take together will be announced on September 4th at 8 p.m. London time, and then at the same time every week moving forward. I cannot wait to create a world where we are free to move, speak, think, worship, sing, dance, breathe, and make our own choices. We are building that world together right now, one step at a time. Together, we will reignite freedom.
that was interesting because a lot of people have, of course, cards to pay
Yes.
with. So, the first one to pay cash with. Did you always pay with cash already?
No, not really. I mean, I knew the importance of it, so I had started to use cash more. But now that it's a step, you feel this different type of commitment. Like, I can't use my card. I just can't. I physically makes me feel uncomfortable. So that's what a lot of people have said too. They mostly used cash, but now that they've made that commitment, they're really taking the extra step.
Why is it so important for us to pay cash instead of using the card?
Well, there's a few elements, but the really obvious elements is that actually the business saves quite a bit of money on transaction fees. And those transaction fees go to the banks, which just makes rich people richer. So that's a very basic thing that I hadn't thought of. But also the ability to do cash jobs on the side and things like, we want to make sure that we can keep that alive. And there is a danger of a cashless society in the next couple of years or however long. And I think if we get used to the convenience of tapping all the time, it's going to be easier for the powers to be to bring in this cashless society. And we really don't want that. So by continuing to circulate cash, we can keep it alive. And also, every time you pay with cash, if you can talk to the cashier or talk to the person at the shop and explain to them the importance of cash, that's also not only just paying cash, but also raising awareness that we need to keep it alive. So
it's really convenient to use a pass, to use that. Young people also, they like using cards. It's really important for young people to consider the importance of money. The value of money. And it's really nice that I have online with us, there's Paddy Holohan, and he's from Ireland. And he came with a great idea. So Monica, let's have a chat with Paddy. Hi Paddy, are you there?
How's it going? I am here.
Hi, great to see you. Well, tell us all about you. Because of the step one, pay cash, you started a great challenge online. Tell us all about it.
So it's the Cash is King challenge. The idea is that people use cash over tapping their cards or their phones. Not only do people realise that they save money at the end of the day, there's a much bigger human connection to it regarding tipping somebody and regarding spending your hard-earned money. It's like a ritual, when you spend your money and you buy things that you want, that you've earned. Where there's a kind of a numbness in tapping. So even if you tap and you add 15% of a tip, the person doesn't really get it until the end of the weekend. But there's no kind of human connection to it. So it's something I definitely wanted to add in, and it went really well.
What happened? You did it on Instagram and you used the hashtag. And maybe you can tell the audience, you're a sportsman, huh? So you thought, I'm going to have an idea and do it online on Instagram.
Yeah, so in Ireland, I would definitely speak up. My life has not been made easier because of that fact either. But I come from a long line of activists and people who are willing to fight for whatever it makes, even if it's not popular at the time. So I used to fight in the UFC in the flyweight division, so the Ultimate Fighting Championships. I got to represent Ireland all over the world. I'm very blessed. And then I ran in the election, in my local election. And I topped the poll. So I ran in my local council election, and now I represent Dublin Southwest, or Southwest Dublin in South Dublin County Council. So I don't think people appreciate the position that I'm in or understand it, because in Ireland it's jobs for the boys, So I'm trying to break the mold a little tiny bit, and instead of just telling people what to do, I'm trying to lead with action. And it's going well.
That's really great. I mean, in Australia, we have a small group of sportsmen and other people and trying to get the message out as well. So thank you so much for doing that, because I just wish that there was more celebrities or ex-celebrities doing things like that. And I love the fact that you brought in the conscious spirit of doing things. So every time you buy, you think about it more. So that's just really, really awesome. And how is the campaign going? Are you happy with it? Do you think it's being shared a lot? Do you think people are inspired to use cash more? And do you think they grasp what you're trying to get to?
Yeah, it's been accepted really well, and anybody that has kind of been negative, unfortunately, as it's been kind of give me 2 seconds.
He needs to calm his kids, I think.
Hey, that's life,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
We're real, we're, you know.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is as authentic as it comes. Yeah, anybody that kind of didn't get it, to me, they didn't understand it, and which was great. So it gave me an opportunity to be able to educate them actually on what is happening. The first post that we put out, it reached, I think it's 600,000 people in the first day. Now, considering Ireland has a population of 5 million people, that's a massive percentage to reach. So a lot of people that are even and I don't like to use the word celebrity. I'm not a fan of it. Probably well known is better. I like other people got on board that were willing to put their name to it as well. Unfortunately, I don't think people are willing to put their names to stuff because they're afraid. They're afraid that their career will be attacked, that their assets, their job will be attacked, and it will be. It will be. Mine has been a lot. But I own all of my own rugs, is which my grandfather told me, so nobody can pull them out from under you. So if you're willing to do it.
What message would you give to people who maybe do want to speak out and are afraid? What would you say to them?
Unfortunately, each individual situation is different. Taoiseach or Taoiseach actually threatened people not too long ago and said that not only if you speak out against it, you won't only have a far right view, as they said it. You'll probably have no job as well, is what they said. So they had no problem linking the idea of voicing your opinion to you losing your job. No one's going to come and save you. So if you're going to speak out, you've got to be firm, and you've got to do your research, get your information right, and be willing to stand your ground. Because money just buys things, you know. The other stuff that we're going to gain from this is morals, you know. Is our children is going to benefit from this, and that's why I'm in the fight. I'm not in the fight for me. I'm in the fight for my children and for the younger generation.
And it feels good to stand up for yourself as well. It's a good feeling.
Yes, I grew up in a working class housing estate over here, so standing up for myself has been something I've been doing for a long, long time. And standing up for others is something I learned that you must do as well.
Well, Paddy, thank you so much for explaining your campaign in Ireland, and I think we are very inspired by it. So please find me on Instagram and give me the challenge, so I can use the hashtag also here in the Netherlands and inspire more people all over the world to go on for this challenge that we do it also. You can also challenge Monica.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Paddy.
I have an use to challenge each other, and this is how we keep this. So anybody who wants to get involved in the challenge, you can go onto my Instagram. It's Paddy Houlihan, and you'll see the rules there. So you have to do a forfeit. So challenge 2 of your friends to not tap their phone or their card for 5 days. And the first one to tap has to do a challenge. You can pick the challenge.
I love it.
It can spread and spread and spread.
Sounds amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paddy from Ireland. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
So if you lose, if we do a challenge,
Yeah.
then you can buy me dinner, but you have to use cash,
Yeah.
or else you're going to be in big trouble.
Well, maybe it's interesting to just have a look, because Catherine, what is her name?
Austin Fitz.
She did the announcement of the first step, and I think it's nice that we just see what the steps are really
Sure.
mean. So if the guys from my technique team can show us step 1, then we can see, for people who didn't know, that what step 1 is all about.
One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is September 4th, 2022, the first step for the global walkout. My name is Catherine Austin Fitz, and I'm walking with you. Here is our first step, and it's a powerful step, a step of financial rebellion. Arrange enough cash to cover your living expenses for a whole week. If you can't arrange enough for a whole week, get enough for one day. Do that. If you can arrange more, do that. Do what you can do. It will be good. Don't tap or swipe your debit card, credit card, your other digital cards for as long as possible. Use them as little as possible. And when you use cash, take the opportunity to tell your neighbors, your friends, and family why, so they can join you in using cash to reverse the push for financial tyranny. Come to your financial power, use cash, and stay tuned for the next step, an announcement in exactly 1 week's time.
Every time you pay with cash, how about you use it as a way to raise awareness as to why it's so important to keep cash alive? Go to the Global Walkout website, and on step number 1, you will see this download. It is a little card. You cut it into 10 different cards, and every time you pay with cash, give them one of these little pieces of paper. And let's raise awareness and explain to people that cash needs to stay alive.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.
Yeah, you're watching the Global Walkout Show International, and I'm here in the Netherlands with Monica Smit for this show. We started a little bit later because it's always a challenge to go online in time and prepare everything. And I'm so happy that you are watching, and if you appreciate what we are doing, maybe you can check my donation link, because then we have also a little bit more budget to arrange everything, and that would be really nice. So if you appreciate what we're doing, subscribe to my channel, please, Inspiratie, and for more videos and more live streams. And thank you so much. We're talking this evening about the Global Walkout, and I hope you can watch it wherever you are in the world. And we're talking about step by step about the Global Walkout. Monica, yeah, you say every step is different, and sometimes it's really hard for a country to participate in the steps. But is it important to always participate?
Well, really, it's a personal thing. We are not like the new governments these days where we force things on people. We don't believe in that. So really, you do whatever makes you feel good. So if you can do it all the way, do that step all the way. If you want to do more, do that. If you want to continue to do the step even once it's finished, do that. If you only want to do it for a week, do that. It's totally up to you. And because we can't know what's happening in every country locally, or how someone's health and well-being is. So everyone's different. So all we can do is give ideas, and it's really up to people how much they want to do it. I know people that have just they've gone the full, every time they just like go really, really far. But the last step, for example, which we'll probably talk about, didn't work in the Netherlands. We'll probably talk about it later, so I won't go into it. But again, yeah, it's not going to work for everyone because it's global. It's really hard to come up with steps that suit every single country. We're just going to do our best.
How many countries are participating at the moment?
Look, I actually don't have that number for you off the top of my head, but last time I checked, it was 102. But that was actually like 2 weeks ago, so there's probably a lot more than that.
Okay, so
yeah.
Can you say some countries? Can you?
Oh my gosh, okay, well I can tell you that from the Global Walkout database, it seems to me like Canada, New Zealand, the Netherlands and Australia seem to be the most vigor, I guess you could say, into the Global Walkout. But it's really strange because we do have people from Afghanistan and people from Nigeria and India and Japan and these countries that I've never connected to before. I've never done interviews there. I've never done anything. So even if there's just one person in Afghanistan, that makes me really happy.
Exactly.
So it's important. Yeah.
Well, who is also really supporting the Global Walkout, she's also a partner in your committee, is Amanda Forbes. And Amanda is online on Zoom. She's in Canada. It's in the morning there. So good morning to you, Amanda.
Good morning, ladies. How are you? Or good afternoon to you, I guess.
It's here, man. It's so great to see you again. We contacted
too.
each other this week to get to know each other a little bit. And you have an amazing story because at the moment you say, I'm stuck at the house a little bit because you have to take care of your father.
That's correct. That's correct. I was a very active, boots on the ground activist for my country, and unfortunately, Pfizer got the best of my dad. And in December of last year, he went away and ended up having 3 strokes, some that debilitated him completely. And when he got back into Canada, we found out he had at least 9 strokes on his brain. So he was having fainting episodes prior to going away, which turned out to be the other 6. But I had pulled him out of the hospital. They called me to tell me he was going to die after he had made it up 3 floors. They tried to get me to pull his plug and take him off of all support and whatnot. And he was in there, and I saw him in there, and his face could show you, like, he was terrified. Don't let them do this to me. I'm in here. And I fought and pulled him out. They told me he had COVID and he was going to die. And I told them they were full of crap, because 4 days prior, he was trying to sit up in his bed. He was talking. He was happy. He had just made it to a new unit. And yeah, so I put a team together. I found a doctor to visit my house, and I kidnapped him out of the hospital, basically. And we didn't know if he was going to live or die. It took 2 days. He slept completely 2 days, 2 nights. And when he woke up, he was determined to beat them.
I was really shocked by that story, Amanda, because you said, you talked about how that went, and we talked about that, wow, if that was happening to your father, probably it would happen to a lot of people in the hospital. So that was really shocking. Of course, everywhere it happens, but when you talk to people who have experienced that, it's so hard. And I hope your father I know he's in good hands with you, Amanda.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
You talked also about your organizations, the Children Health Defense. What did you do in Canada with the Children Health Defense?
Well, when all of this started, I used to run Vaxxed Canada, where I premiered the Vaxxed 2 movie across my country. And from that, I started going to the Ottawa protests up on Parliament Hill to speak. And Polly had called me up one day and said, okay, Bobby's your new boss. Here we go. So get to work. And it kind of took off from there. Canada didn't have a chapter, but we were the 2nd chapter after Europe to be created, and we hit the ground running. We started off with legal challenges right away, and with the kids, the rights of the kids in the school, when all of the masking mandates came into play and whatnot. There was a lot of abuse taking place, and we were getting those messages. So that's why we started there. And we work really closely with a very prominent Canadian lawyer who is a pit bull and is very successful in what he does. So we're hoping many more of our challenges come to fruition.
Yeah. You are a partner of the Global Walkout. It's even possible for people, organizations, or companies to be a partner of the Global Walkout. You can check that on globalwalkout.com. Amanda, why do you support, or why are you a partner of the Global Walkout? Why do you support it?
I really, really liked what Monica had to say. Her heart and her message came across very clear from day one. I truly believe we as a people have already won. It's just a matter of realizing it, uniting, coming together, rising up, and remembering who we are. We are a powerful people, and when we unite, they can't stop us.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Amen. That was
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Amanda, thank you for being in this show. Well, we could talk for hours, but we're a little bit behind because we started a little bit later. But we really would like to announce the 5th step at 9 p.m. Dutch time. So thank you so much, Amanda, for being here, and we stay in touch and take care. Talk to you later.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Can I make a quick point? The partner page has actually been shut down because we have too many, and which is a great problem.
Yeah.
But we have 450, and so now we have to organise them. Again, good problem to have. But yes, you cannot be a partner right now.
What can you do then if you're not a partner?
Well, you can participate, and you can, if you have a particular skill set, you can definitely email us and we can help you out. And also, if you want to maybe run a community group, or if you've got ideas, email us for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then it's time that we go to step 2. Step 2 was to buy locally, and let's see how our famous Dutch farmer, Boer Piet, announced that. Can we see the movie, guys?
This is the Global Walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is the 18th of September 2022. I'm at the Better Way conference in Vienna, Austria, and this is the 3rd step of the Global Walkout. My name is Dan Aston Gregory, and I am walking out with you. The 3rd step of the Global Walkout is to unsubscribe from all mainstream media outlets, delete the apps from your phone, laptop and tablet, and unfollow all of their social media and YouTube channels. Try to avoid mainstream media for at least 1 week, even if the headline is intriguing. On the Global Walkout website, navigate to step 3, where you'll find a printout explaining why we should break up with mainstream media, and you can use these points as a way to start conversations with strangers, friends and family. And you can catch up on all of the previous steps at globalwalkout.com. Stay tuned for the next step, this time next week.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday. This is the Global Walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is the 11th of September 2022, the 2nd step of the Global Walkout. My name is Farmer Piet. I'm a Dutch farmer and I'm walking out with you. The 2nd step of the Global Walkout is to locate and support family-run grocery stores and markets as much as possible. Try to purchase locally grown products to support the farming and market communities in your area. If you live in the city, research what fresh products is grown in your region. On the Global Walkout website, you'll find a printout explaining why supporting locally grocery stores and farmers and markets is so important. You can print them out and use them as a conversation starter with your cashier, family, friends, colleagues. Step 1 was to use cash as much as you can. We hope you continue to do that, along with this new step. Stay tuned for step number 3 in exactly 1 week's time.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.
because it was first step 3 and then step 2. But yeah, step 2 was about buy locally food. Buy food from your local stores and shops. Yeah, and then we had somebody to announce that, and who could do better than our own farmer Piet? Because I think everybody in the whole world knows that, that it's farming in Holland. The farms in Holland are big news. Hello, Piet.
Hello.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for announcing the step. That was
no problem.
awesome. And now to see you is, I actually got really emotional when I saw your video because it was so genuine. You were there with the cows, and it made me really want to go out and buy local. So, which was good.
Well, I start with you, Piet. Yeah, why is buying locally food so important for the farmers, for people to do that?
Well, like I said in the clip, it's good for contact. It's good to use real money. Normally, you can't use your card at small businesses. So I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is it working already? Do you hear farmers?
Over here in Holland we have sometimes small stalls near the road. My wife has one, and she sells vegetables and eggs and stuff like that. But the great supermarket chains earn enough money, so it's always good to buy from small businesses.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. What was really interesting, and I think you noticed too, that we have a lot of visitors those last 2 weeks. The people came from Canada, people come from Australia to New Zealand to talk about, they want to see about what's going on with the farmers here. Do you think that the farmers appreciate that? Do they notice it, that there is support from abroad?
It's always good to have people interested, because we nowadays we have a very hard life. Nothing we do is good enough. Nowadays we lose derogation, and that means that we are not allowed to use as much manure on our fields, and have to buy expensive artificial fertilizer. It's always good that you know that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. And civilians, we get a lot of support from civilians, and sometimes I believe that civilians are more awake than a lot of farmers. They seem to think that it will all be okay.
Yeah.
But
well, I noticed also, that a lot of people think that it's the battle for the farmers. It doesn't concern people like me, because, well, we get food from the supermarket and we see the flags upside down in the meadows, but it's not a battle for farmers. It's a battle for all of us, that the farmers should stay in the Netherlands, because we are one of the biggest food suppliers in the world. And if we lose that, if we lose the Netherlands as a food producer, then we are in big trouble in the world, because we are actually a rich country. But a lot of people our countries are very poor, and then they can't buy food anymore, and then there's be a lot of starvation in the world. So the problem is really huge, really big. And Monica, do you think that people realize this enough?
Of course not, no. Right. Because humans are that way. They see what's in front of them, and if there's food on the shelves right now, they don't think past that point. But in saying that, the amount of people that are seeing it is more than used to, but we still have a lot of work to do to make people realise that the Dutch farmers fight, and the farmers in general in your own country, is your fight. But when or if there starts to be food shortages, that's when people will be like, okay, we need to help the farmers, and I think people will.
Yeah.
So,
the step 2, is it already bringing awareness? Do you think is it a success? How can we show success then?
Well, the thing I liked about step number 2 being after step number 1, like Piet said, is it's a great way to use cash as well. So it kind of built on that, and it made sense. It also made sense with what was happening with the Dutch farmers. I had one person, I'll just say a few things. One person said, I live in the city, there's no local grocery stores, there's no farmers. And I said, what about the farmers markets? Oh yeah, I'll check that out. So there's always something that someone can do. And even if it is at the big grocery store, you could buy the locally grown jams or something. There's always something you can do for every step no matter what. But I will say that some people messaged me really beautiful stories, and they researched all the farms in their area, and they took a whole day to go visit all these different farms, and they made great connections, and they actually wrote a list of all the farms in that area for me to publish on the website. So some people took it really seriously, and it was just beautiful to see. And a lot of people told me beautiful stories about connections that they had made, and these communities that you create. And I think Pete said this as well. The buying experience is a lot more fun, and those relationships you make might come in really handy one day if things get bad. And I'm not saying they will, but if they do, it'd be nice to know a farmer.
Yeah, good. Well, Pete, farming, well, it's still hard because a lot of farmers are in distress also. What can we do if you wanted to speak out to the people in the world and in the Netherlands? What would you say to support the farmers?
I would like to say something to our government.
Okay.
They have bad judgment. That's and we are, as farmers, willing to do our best. We are, as farmers, willing to feed the world, like I mentioned earlier in another broadcast of you. If we don't feed Europe, Europe will be a third world country like Africa. That's why we get money from Brussels to produce extra food, not to destroy it, but the food exported will be eaten. Mm-hmm. So I would like to warn our government, and they know, but there are much other plans going on now.
Yeah.
That they are doing very wrong now.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I've already warned several months ago that there will be hunger, starvation, like you said. And I believe this here in Holland, we will get that the coming winter.
Yeah, this winter will be
we
hard.
The people in Holland, the not that rich people have to make choices, sit warm or buy food.
Yeah, exactly. And the energy prices are going up.
Yeah.
The food shortages will come.
Yeah.
And people just don't realize why the farmers have to go. It's not about this nitrogen problem. It's about they want the land.
It's already going on. A few years ago, we got about 35, 40 cents for a liter of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more than 60. It means there's shortage. So that's not that's just one product.
Mm-hmm.
There will be more.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Pete, for coming to the studio, to my broadcast, to talk about this. We can't talk about it enough, and it's really important that we just keep on giving information to people to know what's going on in the Netherlands, because it's happening in other countries too. Thank you, Pete. Yeah. Monica, how can the global walkout be successful in every country, and how can people participate?
Some countries are going to be different than others, obviously. So it's like I said, Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands, Canada, they are really, really strong with the global walkout.
Yeah.
But as the momentum grows, I'm certain that other countries are going to be really strong as well. And it also takes a particular type of person to help to initiate things, like you, for example. You've taken on the role of participating in the global walkout really seriously. So if there's someone like you on the ground in a country, it's going to help to really bring the global walkout to life. So, and I want to say, and I'll finish off as well on the farmers, if you don't mind, is that I know things could be really bad this winter, obviously, but I'm a really hopeful person. That's one of my skills. And I do hope that something happens over the next month or so to help you guys during winter. And I hope it doesn't go all doom and gloom. But, you know, it's always a possibility.
Well, you talk about, of course, that a lot of things happening here in Holland, but you had a really big problems in Australia as well. Just chat a little bit about that. Well, the first moment I heard about you was that you were in prison, and you got out after 23 days, something like that. And then you, well, how was that for you? Because we know that you were the first political prisoner in Australia. We just can't imagine, you know, it's not a third world country or something. It's a modern country. And so it was really strange that this could happen. Then a lot of mandates were happening in Australia. You really had a bad time there.
Yeah, now thinking about it now, it feels like it was a nightmare or someone else's life, or it never happened, or I don't know. It's so strange to think about what we went through as a collective, especially in Victoria, Australia. There was 240 days of lockdown. That's no school, no work. You can't leave your house. You need papers to leave your house. You can't go more than 5 kilometers. Like it was just like being in prison at home. So me going to actual prison wasn't much different to what... In fact, actually, I made a joke at the time. I mean, look, I was in isolation, so I couldn't go anywhere. No breeze, because I didn't want a PCR test. But the prisoners outside, they could go to the gym, they could walk outside, they could have barbecues together. They had more rights in prison than Victorians had outside. Victorians couldn't have barbecues. They couldn't go to the park with one other person. Can you believe it? They couldn't go to the gym. No, and I was like, hang on a second, do I want to stay in prison? Maybe I want to stay here.
It was better.
Honestly, there was more rights. There was more rights in prison at the time. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really insane. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we prayed, of course, that you could travel again, and here you are in the Netherlands, for God's sake. Thanks so much.
We can go into that more later if you like.
Yeah, well, what I would like to, well, we have at 9 p.m., we have the announcement of step 5.
2 minutes.
And before we do that, I would like, we would like, to hear some music. No, you don't want to do that? There's not enough time. Now we do it afterwards. We have to do it afterwards. So let's talk a little bit more about why it is so important to connect with the whole world.
Well, because, you know, everyone has such great ideas, right? All over the world, and everyone is running their own race, and they're doing a fantastic job. But if Erica in the Netherlands has a great idea, and I have a path where we can make that local idea into a global idea, that's going to be better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense, because the way that we've been doing things over the last 2.5 years has been very local. It's been very important to connect locally. But now, if we really want to get back at the globalists, we have to do things in numbers. It's as simple as that. And we're getting organised. We had 2.5 years of running around, being a little bit crazy. And now we're like, okay, let's plan. And that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I'm really curious, and I'm looking at the time. Can somebody tell me, because it's almost 9 o'clock?
It is 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock. So let's have a look at step number 5.
We're jumping around.
This is the global walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Hi, my name's Bethan, and I'm from Canada, and I am walking out with you. The next step of the global walkout is to display your own country's flag upside down, wherever you can. It's fun, it's cheap, it's easy, and anyone can do it. We were so inspired by the Netherlands. Everywhere you went, you saw hundreds of flags upside down. And it was incredibly impactful because people were asking, why are they doing it? It's important to take a picture of your flag upside down and post it online using the hashtag country in distress or hashtag global walkout. Visit globalwalkout.com and navigate to step number 5 for all the info on how to do this. Stay tuned for the next step in exactly 7 days.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.
Oh, isn't that amazing? And well, I don't know if you noticed who announced step number 5, but for me, I noticed her, of course. It's Bethan from Canada, and she's here because, yeah, I couldn't wait to see her again. Hello, Bethan. Oh gosh, I can't hear you. Are you unmuted, darling?
Oh, I'm unmuted now. I apologize. Hello, everybody.
Hi. Bethan, it's so good to see you. It's strange because last week or 2 weeks ago we met just here in the Netherlands, and now you're back home. But there's something really funny behind you, and that is your flag upside down. I think you've been inspired by something, or haven't you?
Yourself?
Yeah, we got at the props department, and we just thought we'd put up a upside down hanging flag to demonstrate our country in distress. That's what we're doing. This is a fantastic step that we're up to, and so excited to participate. And yeah, so now we're hanging one from my very own home upside down.
Perfect. Well, we'll come back to you in a second because Monica, step number 5, flags upside down. Can you explain a bit more?
Yes, so it was 100% inspired by the Netherlands. So when you drive around here, there are hundreds, there are thousands of flags around this country. And it because it's upside down, it makes anyone think, what the heck is going on here? You know, if they were the right way up, then you might just think the farmer was really, really patriotic. But the fact they're upside down makes people question things. Now, not everyone can afford to put hundreds of flags on their property, obviously. So with the Canadian girls, with Bethan, Stacey and Judy, who you're all going to see throughout this video, we've come up with a cheap, easy and fun way for everyone to do it. So we've actually made designs for most of the major flags in the world. And if yours isn't there, please email us. We'll make it for you. We've done handmade translations as well. And so you print them out, you cut them up, and you put them on a straw or a piece of stick, and you go and you plant them everywhere you can. It can be the fresh food section of your grocery store. It can be pot plants at cafes. It can be in the schools. It can be at work, right? Just pop it there and walk away. And the cool thing is that on the back, there's written, why is this flag upside down? And we explain it in very non-confrontational, non-conspiracy-ish ways that, hey, our country is in distress because of this, and we stand for this, and that's why this flag is here. Yeah. So that's the whole story.
Bethan, you announced the step, and some people say to put your flag upside down is really, really disrespectful. What is your opinion about this? Is this really going on, being disrespectful to your national symbol?
It is edgy and it is controversial, but it's a very clear statement about the country being in distress. And we saw this a lot in Ottawa during the Freedom Convoy. Many people had their flags upside down. It was really once we started doing rallies for the Netherlands that when we were in communication with your teams over in the Netherlands, that there were direct orders to turn our flags upside down. when we went to the protest for the king's speech, right? Part of the pop-up protesting was everybody pulled up their Netherlands flag upside down. This is a very clear declaration of a country in distress, and it's probably the least disrespectful thing we could do. It's nonviolent. It is meant to create questions and perhaps tweak people's discomfort a bit. But, we're not tearing down monuments and dragging them behind our vehicles. This is very simple, and it's patriotic too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for announcing step number 5, Bethan, and for coming on the show to explain why it's so important to participate in this step number 5. Thank you so much, Bethan, and see you soon.
Thank you, Erica. Bye, Monica. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Can I make a comment about the flags? Because some flags are impossible to tell if they're upside down.
Japanese
like
flag.
Japan, it's like, oh, we're going to teach them a lesson, putting their flags upside down. Anyway, so if your flag can't go upside down, it's okay. It still has the words on the back. It still makes a statement. And if you want to come up with some other creative way to do something on the flag, like put SOS on it or something like that, be creative, make it your own. Again, not every step works perfectly for every country, but for the biggest subscription countries, they definitely look upside down. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, and what's really important about this step, really important, is the hashtag. Okay. Because we want to see, well, millions would be great, but just thousands would be good. Pictures of people taking selfies with their upside down flags, or taking pictures of the flags in the grocery stores and in the pot plants, putting them on Twitter, especially because that's a really good way of tracking the hashtags, with country in distress and global walkout. And we're actually going to have a live Twitter feed on our website so people can see how many people are getting involved and they can really feel a part of something bigger than themselves. So it's going to be fun. Yeah. Have fun with it. You know?
It's really nice that the global walkout is about just being a little bit fun, a little bit social things, also very powerful steps. So this sounds a little bit more like fun, but it could be making a big difference.
Look, it's serious. I know that I smile a lot, but actually I know we're going through hard times, but this could be a long battle. So if we can find some joy and smiles in between, let's do that, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of going and doing these flags on your own, find a friend and do try to make fun of it. But you are making a really impactful statement. I'm telling you now, I've been driving around the Netherlands and I know how the flags make me feel. And I know that everyone here in the Netherlands knows what's going on with the farmers because of the flags. It's so peaceful and impactful. In fact, it's genius. And that's why we've copied it. And that's why we want it to go global. So anyone can do it. You know you're doing something impactful, and people cannot help but ask questions if they see an upside down flag in a pot plant in the streets. They're going to be curious, and that's going to be because of you, and that's exciting.
That's so great to hear that the Netherlands were inspiring the rest of the world to put the flags upside down, and that's what we call make a difference. And we have now a performer called Bruno, and he has a wonderful song. The title of the song is Kings and Queens, but the song is about making a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, from all over the world, Bruno from Friesland.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I hope this is coming through, this sound, this guitar sound. Is it? Since we're live and we're doing everything at the same time. Checking the technician. Is it okay? Okay. One cold breeze dancing through the fields. Put up walls, take down our shields. And no one knows what we really do. And no one knows what we go through. If we were brave, we'd use words. Nothing that hurts. keep on fighting for no reason, despite the weather or the season. We don't even know what we are doing till we're done. There's almost nothing left we can believe in, except of all the love we keep receiving. And we can only hope we made a difference when we're gone. Because of her, our hearts beat fast. Even though we won't survive another blast. So buckle up, we're alone out there. We'll keep playing the game, though it ain't fair. So we keep on fighting for no reason, despite the weather or the season. We don't even know what we are doing till we're done. There's almost nothing left we can believe in, except of all the love we keep receiving. We can only hope we made a difference when we're gone. Everybody. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa. You can sing with me. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa. No questions asked. Every move we make, forgotten in the past. Our future lies up ahead. Our souls are shattered, our hearts sad. But we keep on fighting for no reason, despite the weather or the season. We don't even know what we are doing till we're done. And there's almost nothing left we can believe in, except of all the love we keep receiving. And we can only hope we made a difference when we're gone. Everybody, come on. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I ask you, maybe you can sing this melody when you're putting all your flags upside down. Then we just sing. Come on, sing with me. Oh, 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 whoa, 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 oh, whoa, whoa.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome song from Bruno Rumler, and you can find him on brunorumler.com, and you can book him. Yeah.
Online?
Bruno's a how you say that? Always a guest in the show. So thank you, Bruno, for being here again. Thank you so much. Should
that be the global walkout anthem?
Oh, what a great idea.
Just an idea, but I think Bruno's keen for it. So we'll work on that.
Yeah, there are so many nice songs, and it's really, this is also a really nice song, Make a Difference. Yeah.
My favorite part is I can't remember the exact words, but as long as we make a difference when we're gone. Can you say, tell me the exact words?
We can only hope.
We can only hope we made a difference when we're gone.
Do you want to make a difference with doing this, Monica? Is that the main reason?
The main reason is just because I can help. And that's it, Like some people think, how do you keep doing it? Or how did you do that? Or how did you get through? The only thing that makes me different than anyone else is I'm not stronger than anyone else. I just listen to a voice.
Yeah, but
voice.
I have kids, and I'm a mother, so I do it for my kids. Why are you doing this?
Because I had a voice in my soul that said you can do something to help people, and I just followed it. It's really that simple. I don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews, and we all get that voice. And you might get that voice saying you should spend more time with your kids today, or you should do something extra for your kids, or you should not eat that piece of cake, whatever. It's that little voice. We all have it. And I just listened to it. The voice, God, told me, you can do something to help other people and help them feel more hopeful. So you should do that. And I said, okay, fine. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a little bit Dutch, or you're half Dutch?
I'm half Dutch.
Yeah.
That's the stubborn part. And my grandparents, my dad was born here and he lived here till he was 11. And my grandparents, my Oma and Opa, they were here during the war, and they hid Jews in the attic. And I think that maybe some of that courage came through the generations. And I always look to my Oma in heaven for inspiration, and she's always there for me. So I wasn't born here. I've never lived here, but I've got Dutch blood in my veins. And, I think that's a good part of me. I like it. Dutch people are so nice too.
Yeah.
So nice. One of the nicest people I've ever met. So
thank you so much for the compliment, and it's great having you here. Then it's time for step number 3. We already saw a video, but if you just came into this show, in the Global Walkout International show, with people all over the world who are going to tell about what they're doing in their countries to make the Global Walkout a big success. And we just try to show you again the video of step number 3, and then we're going to talk about with Marcus from Sweden. So first, the video announcement of step number 3.
This is the Global Walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is the 18th of September 2022. I'm at the Better Way conference in Vienna, Austria, and this is the third step of the Global Walkout. My name is Dan Aston Gregory, and I am walking out with you. The third step of the Global Walkout is to unsubscribe from all mainstream media outlets, delete the apps from your phone, laptop and tablet, and unfollow all of their social media and YouTube channels. Try to avoid mainstream media for at least 1 week, even if the headline is intriguing. On the Global Walkout website, navigate to step 3, where you'll find a printout explaining why we should break up with mainstream media, and you can use these points as a way to start conversations with strangers, friends and family. And you can catch up on all of the previous steps at globalwalkout.com. Stay tuned for the next step this time next week.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.
Step number 3 was to stop using mainstream media. Well, that was a challenge, Monica, because I think a lot of people thought, oh my God, we have to leave Facebook.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
But about to come. I can see that we want to do that, huh?
Well, it's a tool that they are using to actually steal probably a lot of our energy and time. We think that we're getting to a lot of people on Facebook, but we actually might not be. We're probably just getting to the same people, but it's using a lot of our energy. So maybe over time, we'll see how we go.
Yeah. Mainstream media, fortunately, there are a lot of alternative media already. Yeah. And I think in every country, we have now done research to find our alternative media and to promote it. Yeah. Of course, there's always 2 sides of the story, so it's really important that you always look at 2 sides of the story, doesn't it?
Yeah, and for me, the main thing about staying away from mainstream media is that they run on views and clicks, and without that, they would be forced to change their ways somehow, because they would need to market research and figure out what they're doing wrong. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times they put headlines that make people like you and I think that, oh my gosh, they're finally telling the truth about something. Mm-hmm. And we click on it. Every time we click on it, they're getting paid. Okay? Because it's, you understand. Yeah. So if we stop getting sucked in by these headlines, because by the way, when you click into them, they're actually not even a good article at all. So it's a trap. So I just think we don't need them at all. And if something really big happens, we would find out about it, obviously.
Yeah.
And we should focus more on alternative news so that we can give them the clicks and views instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've asked somebody from another country, and now online is Marcus Borg, and he's from Sweden. And I'm really interested in Sweden because it's a really modern country, of course, like the Netherlands. Marcus, hello, are you there?
Hello there. Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome. Marcus, do you experience a lot of censorship in Sweden?
Yes, of course. So like in all the rest of the world, all kind of different censorship and journalists getting fired and fact checkers also check Swedish language. So we have the same censorship as everyone else, I think. Yeah.
As I can recall, Sweden is a country where a lot of people got the jabs, and but also Sweden is already really into promotion, to pay cash and to eat organic food. So was that really new to you to have step 1 and 2?
No, I think step 1 and 2 we've been doing in Sweden for like over 10 years. Different organizations been promoting it, but it's a really good reminder. And I think Reignite Freedom has, as it looks quite professional, the campaign, and it's global. I think it caught interest of some new people. So I mean, I think it's been helping anyway. Yeah.
Well, you are also in the team of the Global Walkout Sweden, so we are colleagues. And Marcus, well, you told me about a very famous Instagram influencer. Her name is Ida.
Yes.
What did she do?
Yeah, she made a really great video about the Global Walkout. So I was surprised, and it got like 10,000 views when I saw it, but probably it's more now. And she's kind of, her target group is kind of awake people, but I think she reaches more people than usual because yeah, she has a big following and she's popular. So, and I noticed in the comment fields that people really were interested in following the steps. So and we need those kind of influencers nowadays that can catch people who like younger than 40, I guess, follow influencers quite much and for some reason do what they do. And as long as they give good advice, I mean, it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, because step 3 was about skipping mainstream media as much as you can. And you said, well, Sweden was censorship. That was also here in the Netherlands and in a lot of other countries. You work in that kind of area, you know, with websites and stuff. But can you explain a little bit more about what happened in Sweden during step number 3?
I don't know how many been doing it, but I think it's a good reminder because every time you read a mainstream article or watch a video, it's converted into money. So I mean, they get more advertisement money, and so we're kind of funding them when we're following them. So instead of watching the mainstream, if you want to watch news, if you watch the alternative media, you give them money instead. So it's a really good tool. You know, if we could get millions of people to just stop following them, they would lose money quickly. So, yeah.
But Monica, it's also a little bit of a hard one because then you can't watch a lot of things. Huh? You can't newspapers, television. I don't have a television anymore in my house, but do you have a television in your house?
No.
Is that a good step too, to get rid of your TV?
Well, these days everything's on your laptop, so that's not necessarily a foolproof way to stop yourself from watching the media. But I can say I know, for example, my dad, he's like us, he barely watches mainstream media, but he still had an app on his phone.
Yeah, a lot of apps on your phone where you check it.
And he would check it once a day and just kind of scroll through. And when we did that step, he deleted that app. And I asked him, well, are you missing it? And he said, no. And I'm like, you know, he's not, because he's found now an alternative media in Australia where he can get any breaking news that he needs. Yeah. So I think also when we watch mainstream media, we usually feel negative after.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need it at all.
Yeah. Do you still watch it, Marcus? Do you still have apps on your phone, or did you?
Yeah, like I had to do it. I had to take them away for the step. You know, I don't have any apps, but I read it usually, but not since the step was announced, because otherwise it'd be kind of hypocritical. But I want to know what you're doing because I'm analyzing them and writing my own stuff. So usually I'm doing it, but the last few weeks I've not been doing it. So maybe I will see if I can continue. But so
Marcus, you do have an exemption to read mainstream media if you are using it for good purposes. Obviously, there are lots of people who read the mainstream media to debunk it and then write their own media. So of course, that's a good reason. So, so for you, and for anyone else out there, obviously, if someone's written an article about you, for example, you're probably going to want to read it. So, no one's going to be at your door arresting you for that. So,
Yeah, I know. I will see what I do next week. But a good thing is, like, if you have to read it, at least don't share it and give it to anyone else, because then maybe thousands of people would read it if you share it, and it gets viral. So, I mean, there's still things you can do as well. So yeah.
Marcus, and are you excited about the step number 5?
Yeah, but the Swedish flag upside down, I don't know. It looks if you put it the other way, I guess it looks a little bit backwards, but we will see. we can figure something out. Yeah.
I think the Swedish people are very creative. So maybe what Monica said, could put something on it, Monica. If you
put SOS on the front or something, but it still has the words on the back, so it's still impactful.
Yeah, I think we can figure something out. Yeah.
Let us know. We'll update it on the website.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marcus, for being in the show and contributing. Yeah, I can't even say it. To the show, and all the best for everyone in Sweden. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Marcus.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, step number 3 was interesting, but step number 4 is really interesting too, because in the Netherlands, we were like, oh my God, this is something that we really have to think about it. But let's first have a look at step number 4 video.
This is the global walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is the 25th of September 2022. My name is Mats Palsvig and I am walking out with you. The 4th step of the global walkout is to move as many accounts as you can to a union or local bank. Use these new accounts for your savings and transactions. If you run a business, move your business accounts as well and start paying wages from there. If you have debts with larger banks, look into transferring your debt as well. On the Global Walkout website, navigate to step 4, where you'll find more information explaining why this is important and how it helps us push back against globalism and financial tyranny. On there is also a printout you should show the bank working with you when you open your new accounts. It will be a great way to start conversation with them and your friends and family. You can catch up on previous steps at www.globalwalkout.com. Stay tuned for step number 4 in exactly 1 week's time.
Every Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.
Thank you for watching the Global Walkout International show here live from the Netherlands. We're so happy that you are participating in this show because we are talking about the Global Walkout, the effect and the successes, and also all the steps. We've just watched step number 4, and that was really a challenge for us in the Netherlands, Monica. And Monica's with me in the studio here in the Netherlands. Monica, that was a challenge for us.
Yeah, I picked the wrong time to do that step because I was in the Netherlands, and step 4 was to support smaller community banks, and you don't have any.
No,
you have none. And if you have a smaller bank, it actually is run by a bigger bank anyway. So this was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
but you know, a lot of other countries did have options. But what it did do in the Netherlands is it raised awareness.
Exactly.
Not that there is a solution right away, but it did raise awareness, and people started asking different questions, like maybe I should put my money somewhere else, and I'm not going to give any financial advice around that. But again, it just showcases that with a global movement, it's impossible for it to work for every country, but either way, it's going to raise awareness.
But it did in the Netherlands, but you said it's very common in Australia. Can you explain how it works then?
To be honest, I have to go home and change my banks too.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I bank with one of the 4 major banks. Why? Because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's connected, it's quick, it's easy. I've been with them since I was 13 years old. So I'm going to have to go home, and it's going to take at least 10 hours of preparation to actually change the business accounts and everything across. So I'm going to be doing the research myself a week late. But we do have small banks in Australia that are owned by their members. So there is a yearly subscription fee to be in that bank. And it's those subscriptions that actually pay for the bank to run, as well as investments and things like that. And they are not owned by another bank. Now, is your money more secure in a smaller bank? No one can know for sure, but it just feels nicer to support a local bank that, and I've heard stories from people at home, they've loved the experience of changing their bank because they've gone there and there's someone in person, no one's wearing a mask, and when they call the bank, they can speak to the same person again.
Yeah,
it's like proper old school customer service. And I think, again, like Pete said, and like Marcus said, everyone has said, it's all about consciously doing things with your money. And they're consciously going to sign up to a new bank. They're getting that experience, the customer service, that interaction, that human interaction that we're longing, actually. So it's about so much more than just the bank.
Yeah, because it is about dividing us, and it's so important that we connect, because when we're connected, we are so much stronger.
Well, we're also just better people, because when we're connected, we get to have conversations and debate and arguments sometimes, and they make us stronger people, and they make us think more critically. And they, you know, when we're lonely, that's when the mass formation, that's how it was possible, was because people are so lonely that they don't have that interaction. So we need to combat that any way we can, and instead do the opposite of everything they say. If they say don't have parties, have the biggest parties you've ever had. Yeah. All right? So we need to stay connected, you're right.
Yeah. Well, for people who don't know, and I think some people might watch this video and say, you talk about they, but who are they, the globalists? Who are those people?
I know. Saying the word globalist about 2 or 3 years ago was really weird. People thought that you were a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they thought we were conspiracy theorists for talking about the fact that it's possible for a medical procedure to be mandated to work. That happened. And now, talking about globalism, it's not weird at all. It's literally, the definition is right there in Google. In fact, they did change it a few months ago, and they tried to make it a little bit more not sound so bad, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But globalism really is a group of people or an organization who believe that policies should be made locally from an international place and apply to several countries. But that's not a good way to do things, because how can someone in Davos know what's going on in Australia? It's impossible. So globalism, basically, they want to be able to control the world from one central place, basically.
Yeah.
And
it's only a small percentage of people who are actually globalists, aren't they? We are with more.
Oh, we have way more people, but they've been planning for decades, maybe over a century, maybe generations. They've been planning for a long time. While we have been watching TV and having a good life, they've been planning really hard, and we're only catching up now. So they have the planning, they have the money, they have the structures already in place. You know, the structures that we're trying to put in place, they've already had in place for decades. So we've got a battle on our hands, but they are not good people, and the motivation is not pure or genuine or kind or godly in any way. Yeah. And ours is. Most of our people have a really good reason to do this. So we are going to beat them eventually. But it just might take some time. And this is an opinion, I'll tell you, just an opinion, but I actually think they did it 10 years too early. I think if they had waited 10 more years, they would have had 10 more years of people going through the school system, which is disgusting in most countries. But I think some of these globalists are old and they're going to die soon. And it doesn't matter how much money they have, they're not going to get to see the fruits of their labor. So they push the button too early. And we're still young and energetic. Imagine if we were 10 years older, we wouldn't have the energy we have. So I think they overplayed their hand, and they woke up a lot of people, and the world is going to be a better place at the end of all of this.
Sounds amazing, doesn't it? Yeah.
Just a thought, you know.
Yeah. Yes, well, I'm a little bit like, I can be so inspired by your words. Then I'm just listening to you, and then I'm just a little bit flabbergasted by
Hang
it.
on, I'm running a show here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, it's time to talk to our last guest in this show, because where we talk about now, Monica, is indeed about the mood that we are winning, the mindset that people might have, because the world is changing, and some people think, oh, maybe we if this stops, we can move on the way it was. But it's really not the idea that we should move on in the world that we lived in, that we don't want it anymore. At least I don't want to live not like that anymore. No. Because I experienced how we can all be connected and improve our lives in this way that we've never done before. So it's really going to be better times. I watched Penny, and Penny is online. She is from New Zealand. Hello, Penny. Hello there.
Hi, Erica. How are you? And Monica.
Hi.
Great to see you again. Oh, Monica, you don't know Penny, but Penny did some amazing speeches in her country. And I was so inspired by them, not just inspired. She made me cry, Monica. She really was, she made me touch, because Penny, what did you do?
A couple of weeks ago, we had one of the worldwide demonstrations here in Auckland in New Zealand, and it was a march against the mainstream media. So we were trying to get our media, which is clearly only got one agenda, to speak the truth. I just kind of spoke off the cuff. So the first time I jumped up was really just about manifesting the world that we want to create. And we are all master manifestors. And I'd had just a situation while I was at home where I felt it. I actually felt what it felt like in my body to have already won this and had our loved ones come back, and to be free from thinking that we're the crazy ones. And it felt incredible. And I was like, well, we actually just need to manifest that. We need to trust the process. We need to believe we already have this, and that our people are coming back and everything's going to be okay. Because everyone that I talk to on this, we know that we have already won. We know that the truth is going to come out. And but we're so used to feeling like it's heavy and it's hard, and that there's a whole lot of crap to have to go through. And it's true, we do. But we have to start feeling like what it's going to feel like to be on the other side of it, and then we can create it.
Yes, I was touched by your story, because you said my children don't want to talk to me anymore. And here you are in New Zealand. It was as worse as it was in Australia. You also were a country in distress. And this week I reached out to you, listened to your story, and I also saw your speeches. And I didn't have enough time to show them here, because they're about 5 minutes. But I will put them in the comments, so everybody can watch them. Because what I saw is that you just said to me this week, the last 2 weeks were the heaviest one of my life. What's going on in your life then, Penny, that it's so hard at the moment in New Zealand?
I think in New Zealand in general, yeah, we've had it tough, like Australia, where, and actually I said to someone the other day, if people go around saying that the mandates are off, correct them on that, because they're not. You can't work in healthcare. I don't believe that you can work in many schools here unless you have taken all the so-called vaccinations. There's still a lot of oppression here. Some people choose not to see it, but it is really tough. I think what I've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks and what I see others experiencing is that everybody's trauma is coming up. So aside from what we see in the mainstream and the fact that they have this massive smear, misinformation, disinformation campaign on us, which is going through schools, it's going through the media, it's going through everywhere to make us seem like we're terrible people. There's also the spiritual battle going on. So it's massive. Everyone's going through trauma. All their traumas are coming up, and I believe it's their intergenerational trauma. And so how we prepare and deal for that, because it's hitting us, it's hitting me sideways. All my worst fears and insecurities are coming up, and I can either shove them down, or I can look at them, and I can look at my intention, and I can be conscious about the actions that I take. I see that happening everywhere. So we're dealing with a lot, because we're dealing with what's out there. We're dealing with what people are seeing and feeling. We're dealing with what the government's saying. We're dealing with the internal consciousness shift and the trauma that's coming up. It's overwhelming, but we're going to get there, and we just have to acknowledge it and not live in fear.
No, and that was so fantastic to see and so inspiring in your videos that you said that exactly people like us, that we should reach out to other people who are not so understanding. And that was really inspiring. Maybe you can refer to that, what you said in the speech.
Yeah, sure. So we had a situation where we'd marched down to the TV New Zealand studios where most of our news is run from, and we were standing out there doing some speeches, and we were asking the mainstream media to come out, and they wouldn't. And then some media turned up, and I went and asked them if they would hear us, if they would hear our voice, and they were frightened and they ran off, and they said that they get abused. So I just jumped up and talked about the fact that we have to be dealing with these people with love and honor. We have to understand that they are either in fear, or they have been tricked, or they have been programmed, or they genuinely believe that what they're doing is correct, and it's okay to be treating us like this. So we have to hold that ground, and we have to live in that honorable space where we don't strike out to them in anger because we're hurting and we're grieving. We have to be in honor, and we have to hold that space for them because they are seeing the truth. The truth is coming out, the stories are coming out, and we have to hold it because it's going to be really, really tough for them. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes figuring all the truth out now and the way that it's going to come out. And so we don't want to ever say, I told you so. We don't want to ever say anything negative to them. We just want them all to be with us. And we have to remember that. It's not us and them. We're all in this together. They've just been tricked, programmed, or lied to for longer than we have, that's all. And but for the grace of God, that could be me. That could be me on that side of seeing the stories. So we have to just be forgiving, we have to be loving, and we have to bring them into the truth space and just hold that space for them as they work through their trauma.
Thank you so much, Ben. You have a big heart. I love you. And take care in New Zealand, and we keep in touch. Thank you for being in this show.
Thank you, Erica, and thank you, Monica, for the amazing work that you guys are doing.
Can I just say, I am so glad you are a partner with us, because I agree with every single thing you said, and we're on the same page, and that's why we're doing this together. It's amazing. So nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks, Monica.
Bye-bye.
We've got some good people, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness.
So exciting.
Yeah.
I've seen her on the chat groups, but to see her speaking the way that she did, it's just beautiful to see that it's brought the right people together.
Exactly.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. It's really exciting, and it's also exciting to work with everybody around the world, that the world is small enough that we can reach out to each other. What was also impressive is that she said we shouldn't be telling people like, I told you so. No. It's hard.
Yeah. It doesn't help anyone to say that. You get just a moment of, haha, I'm better than you, but it doesn't help anyone. And there's really no point in saying anything else, because Penny actually said it perfectly. Yeah. We need to be strong for those people when they wake up, because it's going to be harder for them than it ever has been for us. We've become stronger, they've become weaker, and they're going to need us. And that's why we're building up our strength for that moment.
Yeah. Well, Monica, it was so amazing to have you here in the Netherlands this week. Back to Australia. Back home.
Yes.
You're looking forward to that?
Look, there is a part of me that is really looking forward to being at home because I've been having to run my Australian organisation with a different time zone, travel and do all this, but I would not take a day back. I've enjoyed meeting people, but it's just been super tiring, but I just love it. I loved meeting it, and like, you know, I'm half Dutch, and so I have that blood in my veins, and it's just so nice to connect. And you never know exactly what you've learnt from you or from whoever until it comes out later. So I know this trip has been really fruitful and inspirational, and who knows what it will result in down the track. So I'm so grateful for the time you have given me to show me around, introducing me to people, having me on this show. If I came here and had no help, I would not have been able to do anything. So thank you so, so much. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. With all the love, So people all over the world, this was the Global Walkout International show to talk about the Global Walkout, show you what success it can be if you participated. Have we said it enough, Monica, how people can participate?
Yes, any way you want, do what you want, be creative, yes, I think we have explained it. And actually, no, that is an element that I didn't explain, is that the logos and the social media tiles, they're available for anyone. You can download, there's no copyright, there's no problem. Put your own face on it, make your own video. You can announce the step in your own words, in your own language. You can put a picture of whatever you want anywhere. You can put your face on top of the logo. I just don't care. Let's get the message out there, be creative, have fun with it. This isn't my walkout. It's not your walkout. It's not Penny's or Marcus's. It's everyone's. That's the whole point. So do what you want with it.
Do what you want with it, but join us, connect with each other, and we are so much stronger when we are together. Thank you for watching this show. My name is Erica Krikke from the Netherlands, Zebra Inspiratie. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.
And if you've enjoyed it, why don't you buy Erica a coffee? It's about €5 or $5 a month to help her so she can keep doing these types of shows for you. $5 will really, really help. So Erica, we appreciate you. And please, guys, if you've enjoyed it, buy her a coffee.
Okay. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Goodbye again. Have a nice evening, day, wherever you are in the world. And, see you next time. Bye-bye.
There you go.